If a user enters something other than a number for the calculator program, the program stops immediately and cannot continue. It stops because something happens in the program that Java doesn't know how to handle. This is called an unhandled exception. In this lesson, you'll learn how to write a try-catch block to handle exceptions. If the user enters an invalid number, your program should tell them to enter a valid number, then try to run the code again. Hi, I'm Annette Gotland. I'm the author of the Do-It-Yourself Java Games books. I teach Java programming through creating games. Welcome to the video version of my books. We're currently in the Text Games video series, TG, the first of 4 types of games series. The focus of this series is to cover the fundamentals of Java programming. No programming experience is required. You'll learn how, when, and why Java programs are written the way they are. This series has 16 projects. We're currently working on the 8th project, TG8, Calculator. In this project, we'll create a simple calculator like this. This is lesson TG8.4, where you'll learn to create a try-catch block to handle exceptions. Let's explore what happens if you run your calculator program and enter something other than a number. Exercise 1. Enter something other than a number. Run the calculator program. When asked to enter a number, enter Hello World. What happened? The program should have stopped running, and you'll see many red messages in the console pane. You'll need to look through those messages for the type of exception thrown and what line of code threw the exception. Okay, I've got my calculator class open in Eclipse. I click Run and type in Hello World for one of the numbers. Press Enter. The program stops. You'll also see a lot of errors down here in the console. So let's take a look at the console. If I scroll up to the top, it says that there was a number format exception, and it was because of an input string of Hello World. You'll see the number of classes involved in the process. And you need to scroll down to the first class. That's one of the classes that you wrote. So you created the calculator class, and it's in the prompt for int method. And it's on line 22. I can just click that message. It'll take me to line 22. And that's a line of code that says I equals integer.parseInt s. So that's the line of code that threw the exception. So now we know it threw a number format exception for input string hello world when it tried to run the line of code that says I equals integer parseInt. It threw the exception because it was an unexpected exception. Exercise 2. Handle the exception. Pause the video if you need more time in any of these exercises. If you want to see how I would complete any of the listings, please refer to the completed listings at the end of this video. Add try and catch blocks to prompt for int exactly as shown. Hint: wrap the line of code that threw the exception, I equals integer parseInt, in a try block. Then add a catch block for the expected exception, number format exception. Pass a number format exception named E as a parameter. Then in the catch block, print a message that S isn't a valid number, and assign a new value for I by calling prompt for int again. Run it. What happened? It should tell you that Hello World is not a valid number and that you should try again. Once you enter a second valid number, it should print the sum of the two numbers. Key points and more. Creating try-catch blocks. Use one try block to surround any code that may throw an exception that you would like to handle. The try block should include all the lines of code that you don't want run if the exception is thrown. After the try block, create one catch block for each exception you want to handle from that try block. The try block and catch blocks can have any number of lines of code. Programs usually handle exceptions by printing a message to the user or by setting some default values so the rest of the code can run without error. Other typically thrown types of exceptions will be covered in later lessons. Key points and more. How try-catch blocks run. If any line of code in a try block throws an expected exception, the program will skip the rest of the code in the try block, run the code in the corresponding catch block, then continue with the code after all the catch blocks. If no code in the try block throws an exception, the program will complete the try block, skip the catch blocks, and continue with the code after all the catch blocks. If a try block throws any other exception, the unexpected exception won't be caught and the program will stop running. Here are the completed listings for all the exercises in this video. This is the end of the fourth lesson in the calculator project. The calculator should now simply ask the user to try entering another number if they entered anything that cannot be converted to an integer. In the next lesson, you'll add subtraction, multiplication, and division options to your calculator. You'll then also get more practice with exception handling, as these new calculations can potentially throw an arithmetic exception.